multi-row calculation advanced in Alteryx. So we are going to look into like how we can use some advanced calculation in multi-row. So already I have discussed the multi-row calculation in the basics formula in day 11. So if you're watching this video, you can go through that and you can check that video and let me know if there is any questions or query related to that component. So let's jump into the workflow and what I have created. So let's see this. So what first we need to understand what it does. This formula, it will help you to reference the data from previous or next rows or perform row by row calculation. So in simple word, it helps you to compare or calculate values across rows, not just within a single row. So like for example, if you want to compare running total of or monthly average or average 3 months of sales or those kind of calculations. So if you see, I have created a calculation. I'm just going to explain this, and these are not very complex. So I'm just taking the input. So the first thing what I'm doing here, if you see, this is the input file, and here we have year, we have month, we have product, we have sales. So these are the 4 columns we have. So the first thing what we see in this data, like there are blanks in the year column. So we don't know like what is the year in this column, and only 2012 I can see. So how to first, like what exactly it can do. So what are the capabilities this component has. So the first thing what I'm trying to do here is to update the existing field. So I'm trying to just navigate the year column, or like if there is any the year column is blank. If you see, this is a formula which I'm using, and this is a multi-row formula which you can find it under the preparation. So multi-row formula, you can right click and open the example, and you can check like what exactly it will help you to parse the complex data, create running totals and other such kind of calculations, right? So here you can see like filling in the nulls, which we are going to look into here. And again, like created a group record and access the additional rows or change values for the rows that doesn't exist, flag rows that meet contextual criteria, right? So some specific criteria you want to see here. So you are creating a new field. So there are two options. Either you can like update the existing field. So here we are updating the existing field, which is a year column. And then I'm putting a formula, like if it is blank, then it should take the previous row data, row -1 year, and or else it should just populate the year. So let's run this workflow and see what is the output of this one. So now if I see here, now I can see the year column, it is looking. Now it is showing like 1 to 12, it is 2012, then again 13, 2013. So now it is filling the details. Now one more thing, what I'm doing here, I'm creating one more calculation, average 3 months of sales. So to calculate average 3 months of sales, I'm using this formula like average sales and then the previous month of sales minus the last month of sales, current month of sales. So row -2, like -1, -2. So the previous row, and then the first will be 290, then the second will be 444 and 290, 326, right? So that's how it is calculating the average 3 months of sales. So taking the average and then subtracting with the current month of sales, and then it is producing the output. Another example, what we can see here. So this is the same thing, same example. If you are updating, so here I'm creating a new column like year, and then it is producing the. So if you see here, if year is empty, then year -1, then or else year. So I'm just using this formula. So if I'm using the formula tool, so it is not replacing the nulls with the blanks are not replacing. If you see, it is just simply showing the year. Whatever is there, whatever is blank, then it is blank. One more example we can see, like for example, if we have one data set, another data set. So this is the device ID and this is the number of clicks. So if you want to calculate like how many clicks have been happened in that device, so how we can calculate it. So here I am creating one more. So I'm using a formula. You can use like a multi-row formula as well. So if the date time difference click is minus 1 less than 30 seconds, then 1 or else 0. So if it is less than 30 seconds, so then it will be 1 or else 0. One more input, what we can see here. So this is also the same thing, the grouping and the GL account if we have. So if I want to update the existing field, so you can select the number of rows, then unit, and then the same formula which we have used in the previous section here. So here also we are using the same formula, and here also we are using the same formula. So if we execute this, now we can see the group and the units are filled out. So in terms of like when I can say like it is very beneficial, like if we have to replace the null. So this is the same data set which I have explained. If I want to create a group ID, so here you can see like it is producing an output. So let's execute this entire workflow and see the output. So here you can see the record ID plus 1. So record ID is like here we can see it is filling the details, and this new multi-row formula, what it is doing. The only challenge here is we cannot add multiple formulas, right? So what you can do, like in that case, either you use a multi-row formula and then group with the formula 2. So you have to combine the two formulas. Now access the additional rows and change the values, like to calculate 3 months of rolling average sales, what I was talking about. So this is the same thing, and this is the data site and the number of rows, right? So based on how many rows you want to calculate the average sales. Then again, there is one more, like flag the rows that meets. So this is also the same example which I was explaining. So this is the best practice, like in terms of learning and understanding this tool, like where we can use the multi-row formula in which complex or advanced calculation. Multi-row formula can be very beneficial when it comes to like adding, you can say like updating the existing field or creating a new field based on the existing field. So in those cases, we can use this component in Alteryx and we can produce the output and we can merge it. So now if you see, this is one more, I can say here, I see average sales is calculated average, but this is still not clear. Now what I can do, so here I can connect with the multi-row formula again, and I can bring this same formula. So let's take this and let's add it here, and let me just paste this one, update the existing field and select, let's not group anything. So let's just execute it. Now let's run this workflow and let's see. So now you see this is now neat and clean data, which can be useful. So if I have to like calculate, so here what we are doing, here we are calculating the average 3 months of sales. Now, if I have a blank column in my data set, there is a blank in the initial. So this operation we should be performing at the end after doing all the sales, average 3 month sales, running total, and everything we calculate. And then at the end, we can bring it. So now if I want to calculate like here already we have calculated average sales. Now I want to divide the sales with the check the percentage. So what I can do, I can bring also a simple formula tool between this, and here I can add a new column. So let's say sales percentage. So here it will be average 3 months of sales divided by sales, right? So let's run this workflow. Let's make it little bit more. So here we can see this is now giving in this way. So now in the final output, we should be seeing this one. But now here we can see there are blanks. Now here what you can do, here you can make it a decimal, fixed decimal. So let's execute it. So here we can see the percentage of the sales as well. So this is the final output. I can produce this out. This is 90 record. This is not a very huge record, but yes, still we can use this data for our further analysis or anything we want to do. So we can add, like if I have to calculate, I can do average sales within the this formula also, instead of using multi-row formula. But multi-row formula is best if I have to group the data by product. So now if I want to group the data, so I can just select product and let's run this. Let's see. Now you see the product has been grouped by the product wise. The final output is looking this way. So this is the best practice, like how we can use the multi-row formula and what is the use of the multi-row formula and where we can use it actually. So before using it, so any projects like whatever we are doing, we have to make sure like where I should be using these components, because when you're creating a complex workflow and if there is something goes wrong, then you are going to make changes to the entire workflow. Then it will be kind of a tedious job after taking the output. So you should have a sample data and you should see like what all the actions needs, what all the components we need to add. If there is any formula is required, so let's add this multi-row formula or just the formula or create all the KPIs and then use this multi-row formula to drop down the nulls or clean the data, and then at the end clean the data and ingest the data to any data server or like SQL or on-prem tool or Tableau or Power BI. So this is about the multi-row formula tool. So thank you very much for watching this video, and like, subscribe and comment and share your feedback, and let me know if there is any specific topic or if there is any specific questions you have related to Alteryx or related to any component on Alteryx. I'll be happy to help you guys. Thank you.